For years, people have been ridiculed for believing in the end of the world.
Bracing for disaster. You may have seen shows like Doomsday Preppers that take prepping to the extreme.
Called conspiracy theorists for stocking up on food and building underground shelters.
We're going to prepare all the way up to the last moment, all the way up until the clock strikes 12.
People who say you're nuts, it's not going to happen. What's your best answer to that?
My best answer is that Noah built the ark and it wasn't raining.
But now with the rich and famous like Mark Zuckerberg being in the news for his newly built $100 million doomsday bunker, people are now coming to realize that there may have been some truth to it. There may have been some truth in the people who were being criticized for having doomsday bunkers.
You can just say, well, it might not be practical, but we'll do it just
Yeah,
in
but I mean,
case.
the question is, what do they know that we don't know, right? I mean, they're building these underground Is this just a natural human nature towards thinking that these are the end times, our times?
Well, today I'm going to be going over the history of these doomsday bunkers and how it's possible for the average person to acquire one. And that the government has always and never been shy about stating that they have underground shelters for high-level government and military personnel.
The government built more than 100 of these bunkers and relocation facilities around the country. The plans to get a small number of government officials out of Washington, out of major cities, and into these bunkers around the country. And it doesn't include families.
Thank you for joining me today, guys, and let's get started. Now, as I stated earlier, bunkers for high-ranking personnel in a government or civilization is nothing new, and technically began in ancient times. The first recorded use of underground shelters dates back to 3000 BC in Cappadocia, Turkey. Here, ancient people carved the first recorded underground shelters into the soft volcanic rock. These intricate networks, known as Co.Ag and Derinkuyu, could house thousands and included ventilation shafts, wells, and even livestock pens, showcasing early human ingenuity in subterranean living. And even up to the modern eras, the significance of bunkers was still very much present and honestly had escalated dramatically during World War II. It saw the construction of extensive underground networks, particularly in Britain, as a response to the relentless blitz by Nazi Germany. So starting in 1940, cities like London, Liverpool, and Manchester were equipped with vast public air raid shelters. These were not just rudimentary dugouts. They were complex structures, complete with sleeping quarters, medical stations, and command center. London's underground stations, like Aldwych and Belsize Park, were repurposed into shelters, safeguarding thousands of civilians during the devastating aerial bombardments. And in this area, underground bunkers transitioned from primitive caves to lifelines of nations, embodying resilience and the will to survive amidst the insane chaos of war. The architecture of bunkers is the tale of innovation. For instance, the Greenbrier bunker, built in 1958 in West Virginia, was designed to house the entire United States Congress in case of a nuclear attack. It showcases advanced features like massive blast doors and extensive life support systems. Now, a man named John Smith, you're right, a leading bunker engineer, explains how modern bunkers use cutting-edge technology to ensure survival. So there's always been bunkers in use by the military and in times of war. So why were regular people who prepared doomsday bunkers for themselves considered doomsday conspiracy nuts? Why? If high-ranking government officials are so hell-bent on having doomsday bunkers, then I feel that most of us are probably ill-prepared for any disaster that may come our way. And honestly, I may have to start thinking about this for myself in the future. I have to get prepared as well. There's no point in talking about it and not personally taking action as well. Especially with personal bunkers gaining popularity in recent years, with notable figures like Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg reportedly investing in personal safety bunkers, totaling millions, hundreds of millions in the final cost.
It might not be practical, but we'll do it just
but I mean, the question is, what do they know that we don't know, right? I mean, they're building these underground apostles. Is this just a natural human nature towards thinking that these are the end times, our time, the end
Call me
time?
cynical, but I think there's like the only fear being played here by billionaires is FOMO, the fear of missing out. Like that billionaire has a new toy.
Yeah, my neighbor had a flat screen TV. I had it.
Right, it's like keeping up with the Joneses kind of mentality.
But the money piece is a powerful piece, and they want to live forever. And none of us are going to live forever.
Yeah.
And if you've got too much money, then you can go build
put in cryogenics. And,
They probably already got that.
All right, Steve, I want your take real quick before we leave you.
When you have that much money, when you're a billionaire, you either go up to space, you go find somewhere else to live, or you go down. You go bury underneath, you get your bunker. You got options, but it's not happening here on Earth.
Right, so extraterrestrial, terrestrial, subterrestrial, those are your choices if you got enough money, right? All right, Steve Krakauer, thank you very much.
You are entering one of the most secret places on Earth. It's a bunker built into a hollowed-out mountain in Colorado. It's just one of the top secret shelters where 7,000 Americans will go to in the event of nuclear annihilation.
The government built more than 100 of these bunkers and relocation facilities around the country.
There's no room for families. Wives and children not included.
The plans to get a small number of government officials out of Washington, out of major cities, and into these bunkers around the country. And it doesn't include families.
Garrett Graff is the author of the new book, Raven Rock, the U.S. government's secret plan to save itself while the rest of us die. The title comes from this place, Raven Rock Mountain, a super secret bunker in Pennsylvania where Pentagon brass will relocate in a nuclear war. How do you get on this list? And who's on it?
Well, so the list includes your high-ranking government officials, your cabinet leaders, your congressional leadership, members of the Supreme Court, as well as, top aides, White House staff.
Some people are on the elite list by accident. The bunker at Cheyenne Mountain in Colorado has its own Subway sandwich shop.
If you just happen at the time of the apocalypse to be the person manning the cash register at the Subway, you're going to be the only fast food employee in America who survives the nuclear war.
Another bunker is buried in Virginia at a place called Mount Weather. This is the Mount Weather facility about 60 miles west of Washington, D.C. And it looks like a typical secure government facility. It is surrounded by a chain link fence with a barbed wire at the top, and they don't like visitors.
Okay. I need to...
For decades, another secret bunker was located beneath Greenbrier, a luxury resort in West Virginia. It's now a museum. Behind this 25-ton blast door was a shelter for 400 government officials who could live for 60 days in dorms like this one. The bunker system has been used only once, on 9/11.
On 9/11, helicopters swooped in here to the Capitol and evacuated the congressional leadership as well as officials from across Washington out into these mountain bunkers around the country.
Let's hope they're never needed again.
And it's even reported that Bill Gates has bunkers under each one of his personal properties. This man is not playing. Like your average bunker that is usually shown to you in movies or TV shows are usually boxy, metal containers with rations of food with water and maybe a generator with a radio. But living in a bunker is apparently about adaptability. The modern luxury bunker, like those designed by the company Vivos, can include pools, gyms, and even movie theaters. Some bunkers are even large enough to host hydroponic farming facilities to replenish the supply of food, enough space to house families that will take care of that farming, the cleaning, the cooking, security, etc. Because we all know the rich, for the most part, would be completely helpless on their own in the wild. The rich and wealthy needs us way more than we need them, so they'll definitely have a few families there to work for them. This level of preparation needs to be noted. The Denver airport have been a well-known conspiracy hub for having a connection with the Illuminati and doomsday scenarios. And that's just a few of the numerous conspiracy theories since its opening in 1995. The theory of the airport being a hub for housing secret underground bunkers for a global elite in case of an emergency or a catastrophe, that theory may have some truth to it. One of the main sources of intrigue is the airport's significantly over budgeted and delayed construction. When the airport opened, it was a year behind schedule and $2 billion over budget. And so theorists speculate that these cost overruns and delays were due to the construction of extensive underground facilities, possibly linked to nearby military bases and private aerospace companies. Some theories suggest that the tunnel system beneath the airport could lead to underground bunkers, or even to NORAD, a military facility located about 100 miles south of the airport, which is honestly not hard to believe. Having an underground bunker that is so high up in the mountains that it can overlook civil distress, natural flooding disasters, and especially a nuclear attack. Being embedded so high up in the mountains would damn sure be advantageous for the government personnel and military of this, and honestly, any country. Well, unless you believe the theories about the underground levels at Denver Airport being also used for alien-related purposes as well, I would say this type of security makes sense. But that's for government personnel. And surely, if the super rich were guaranteed to a high-level bunker for free, they probably wouldn't spend the insane amounts of money we've seen reported being spent on these billionaire doomsday bunkers. So that's why there are companies and businesses that work in this field to try and offer personal, luxurious doomsday bunkers, and keeping this luxurious or modern style of living during a calamity enclosed in a space that's meant to keep you in. I guess it would help to have all the utilities that you are used to. Dr. Emily Johnson, a psychologist, discussed the psychological effects of extended stays in such enclosed spaces, highlighting the importance of mental well-being in these environments. And having your modern technology and your luxury items will definitely help you get through times like these, being stuck in such a small space. According to real estate expert Andrew Ragusa, he's a CEO/broker of Remy Realty on Long Island, New York, says that buyers who are worried about nuclear conflict should reconsider their usual priorities. He said in the event of a nuclear war, the location of your home can completely determine your chances for survival. And what used to be important when purchasing a home, such as close to shopping, a great school district, near public transportation, all of this has now changed to warm climate, access to food, and access to water. He recommends rural parts of Texas, Florida, and California, as far as possible from large population centers, which might make attractive looking targets for a nuclear attack. The reason he picked these 3 states is because they are near water and have warm climates. If you're near water, you'll always be near food, and water that can be ingested after it has been desalinated. But as long as you choose rural areas in these states though, cities like Miami, West Palm, LA, Houston, Sacramento are still solid targets that could possibly still be hit. The average person can definitely even begin building a fallout bunker personally, and there are even videos online about them. And I know times are difficult, but obtaining a good high quality bunker may not be too difficult for the average family as well. Since it is a growing trend, and especially since everyone is not able to personally build their own bunkers or they don't feel comfortable enough to, there are companies that can take care of that for you. The average cost of building a bunker can vary significantly based on its size, location, and the amenities included. On average, a basic bunker can cost around $60,000 to build a 200 square foot bunker. That's not big, but it can range anywhere from $35K to $75K. Tiny mini shelters can cost as little as $20,000. A reinforced concrete bunker, averaging around 2,500 square feet, including kitchen gear and other amenities, can cost about $60,000 as well. So if you and your family have the land and space, you guys should definitely invest in getting one for you and your family. But for luxury bunkers, the cost can be significantly higher. Of course. Shelters built by companies like Vivos and Rising S can range from $35K to $14 million. Rising S company offers a luxury series that starts at about $3.78 million, and their most expensive shelter costs about $14 million. The company also offers a luxury bunker called the Aristocrat for $9.6 mil. The Opidum, another luxury bunker provider, offers their state-of-the-art Le Heritage model in the range of $100 million. Absolute insane prices, but if I was super rich, man, I would definitely have one. And if any of you guys have a big enough family, I believe spending the extra money on a luxurious bunker will work better. You need the space and the technology to increase your odds of survival. You need storage for food, clean water, electricity, probably a combination of generators and solar panels. I don't want to get in trouble for saying this, but you would also probably need a stock of weapons to protect you and your family as well. And the most important, farming. Preferably hydroponic farming. Hydroponic farming is a method of growing plants without soil, using nutrient-rich water. In this system, plants are rooted in inert mediums like rock wool or perlite, and are fed with a water solution containing essential minerals and nutrients. This technique allows for precise control over the growing environment, including temperature, light, and nutrients, leading to faster growth and higher yields. Hydroponic farming is particularly efficient in terms of water usage and space, making it ideal for urban areas, locations with poor soil quality, and underground bunkers. It can be implemented in various forms such as nutrient film techniques, deep water culture, and aeroponics. So, to conclude everything, the cost of a bunker can range from $20,000 for a basic shelter to $100 million for state-of-the-art luxury bunker, depending on various factors including size, location, and amenities. And the rich are prepared, and always have been. I honestly believe this happened in the past before, with the destruction of the legendary Atlantis and the Great Deluge. But I can save that for another video, on how I believe the rich of the old world survived the Ice Age by coexisting with hunter-gatherer tribes that mistook their advanced knowledge for being gods. Let me know if you guys want that sooner than later, and I'll get right on it. And it seems the average people that society had called crazy or conspiracy nuts, it seems those people were actually far ahead of the game. And we are now only catching up because of how focused we are on what celebrities and the super rich do. That's the only time we realizing it now. We take nothing serious until someone with money or fame shows interest in it. We honestly need to do better. We need to take a step back and realize what's important. We need to take some breaks from social media, focus on our health and strength, focus on survival skills, cooking skills, farming, hunting, and more importantly, focus on not being left behind. Thanks for joining me again today, guys, on my look over on underground bunkers for disasters. As I stated earlier, I'll be looking into good areas to live in so that I can invest in a bunker as well. I'm most definitely a believer now, so. Next video, I will probably go over the mysterious occurrences of cargo cults and what it could mean in connection to our civilization and its religions up until this very day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, everyone, and be safe.
You can just say, well, it might not be practical, but we'll do it just
Yeah,
in
but I mean,
case.
the question is, what do they know that we don't know, right? I mean, they're building these underground apollo. Is this just the natural human nature towards thinking that these are the end times, our times, the end times?